If you're new to final expense sales, or even just like thinking about getting into our industry, what you may not realize is that our business is completely lead driven. And let me start with some unsolicited advice about free leads. When you're working free leads, well, since there are no such thing as free leads, not in our business, I promise you, free leads will always end up being the most expensive lead out there. So what's the advice? Avoid anybody that has a free leads program and is trying to convince you that you'll make money working free leads. Chances are slim to none that that'll happen. With that being said, in this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips for working final expense leads. Coming up next. I'm Doug Massi, and with the right leads on a weekly basis, and of course the right amount of leads each week, added to a licensed life insurance agent with a strong work ethic, man, earning a 6-figure income becomes, well, kind of easy. This is when I'm going to ask that you give this video a big old thumbs up so that YouTube keeps showing our channel across the interwebs, and if for some reason you haven't subscribed, I'm going to ask that you do that now. We're putting out new content, new final expense sales videos every single week. So let's get this party started with tip number 1. Never, ever let your leads sit. Some final expense leads, like Facebook leads or telemarketer leads, have a really short shelf life. So you're not going to want to hear this. I'm going to say it anyways, but even if you're only getting in like 1 or 2 of these leads each day, you need to get out within a day or 2, really the next day. Do what you do, bang on the doors, get your butt inside, make that presentation. If for some reason you sit on a Facebook lead or final expense telemarket lead for like a week or 2, you're going to find that these guys, they're pretty much long forgotten by that time. And now you got to try convincing the prospect that they said it was okay to see you, that they're expecting you. The nice thing about our final expense direct mail leads is that they have a super long shelf life. I mean, even like a year or 2 later. You can always go knock on the prospect's door, show them the card, it's got their handwriting on it, point that out to them, push your way in the house, make your presentation, and close that sale. Before I get to tip number 2, if you'll kindly stick around until the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get something pretty darn cool. The appointment setting super file. Now, this zip file has appointment setting scripts for working the 3 major type of leads that we use for face-to-face sales, along with a script for overcoming objections while you're setting the appointments, which leads us to tip number 2. Always follow the system. And what I mean is that you most likely have a manager or a trainer, an upline person, someone, assuming that, let me start over. Let's assume that they've sold final expense successfully, and this person is teaching you the do's and don'ts of our industry. Well, the thing is, they know what works, just like I know what works. And if you make changes or try to do things your way, and I mean sometimes even the smallest change in your presentation or the way you're working your leads, it's going to most likely make it harder for you to see success. And my experience, agents that try to cut corners and maybe do things a little bit different, well, than what I teach, often have terrible results. I mean horrible. They usually end up completely failing. I have never had one agent that actually did everything I teach that failed. Follow the system. It will be the difference between your success and your failure. And this leads us to tip number 3. You always want to work not the cheapest lead, but the best lead that you can get your hands on. For face-to-face sales, the direct mail lead is still king. Really, for reasons mentioned earlier. The shelf life is like completely awesome. Direct mail is the only lead that you can target specific zip codes with, specific ages, and specific household incomes. Therefore, targeting the exact type of person that is most likely in the need of, well, our type of insurance and is most likely to buy from you. If you're generating your own Facebook leads, you can get in front of a lot of the same type of buyers. However, You'll never get the same amount of Facebook leads that you can get with direct mail leads within a close and more specific area that you actually want to target. For telesales, your best leads are going to be live transfers second. And this is where the telemarketer actually introduces you to someone that is expecting a quote from you. And of course, the ultimate lead of all times, the infamous live inbound TV commercial final expense lead. With this thing, the client sees the TV commercial about final expense insurance, they call in the phone number, and you, the agent, pick up the phone. Well, at least with our TV leads, that's the way it works. No transfer, no handoff, no like middleman doing the thing. Just the caller calling and you answering. Warning guys, don't be tricked by companies that have a callback TV lead, or even worse, an opt-in lead. Ooh, those are garbage. The client calls the 800 number to get something for free, that's offered on a TV commercial, and they're asked to press 1 if you'd like to hear about special state plans to cover your final expenses or those are the worst. They are different, and let me just say, horrible. The reason that my agents use the live TV lead, the agents on our sales team, is really, it's twofold. One, the intent of buying from the people that call in is super high. So the closing rate is right around 23 to 35% on average. I mean, noobs are closing 1 out of 4 of these bad boys. And second, with the live inbound TV leads, using them to sell over the phone, the average premium, and this is hard to believe, the average sale is like $85 a month. That may sound crazy, but it's true. And let me clarify those comments by breaking it down into layman's terms. If you're writing mainly, prosperity, for example, and your commission level is 100%, most of your sales that stay on the books for 12 months or more will net you over $1,000 profit per sale. This is why the TV lead has been a game changer for our agency. And this is why, as long as we have them, let me just put that out there, I will always be talking about using TV leads to sell final expense over the phone. Guys, for a copy of the appointment setting super file mentioned earlier, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For information on working with us, United Final Expense Services, and getting your grubby little hands on those killer TV leads I keep talking about, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.